I'm late. Sorry about that, guys. But it is Jazzman back once again with a game between FlyingFinn playing full faction Forglar Swamp, Snapteeth, one of the probably one of the best decks in the game currently, versus SonTungvn playing Iron Fist Stronghold full faction, his usual Barbarian deck. And let me just catch up here. I had to step out for a moment, and I hurried back just to see this game going on. So I decided to hop in, see what we've got. Looks like a barricade going down onto these Snapteeth, but Frenzy pouncing out onto that Brutality Barbarian, who has been Murkwater weaknessed. So much to catch up on. So we've got Banner, Miss Font contesting, Brutality Barbarian going down, and Soul Reaver here onto Barbarian Elite, cleansing that debuff and allowing him to take out that War Banner. And Snapteeth Ancient here will be hard-pressed to deal with this Barbarian Elite now in mid-font. 4 to 6 range, not really something you'd want against an aggressive melee champion like Barbarian Elite. So Snapteeth Frenzy in position to grab that globe. Perhaps Zedin. I feel like Zedin should grab that globe, right? He's going to attack. He is weaknessed, but he does still stack up the Sunder twice. And instead we have Brutality Barbarian coming in with that impatient AP generation, manacking into that Frenzy and collecting the globe. Favored Nomad here in the back, doing its thing, sniping, generating Nora, and escalating as well. So 2 escalation champions out. We'll see which one of them can carry harder in the late game. And we see a second Murkwater weakness here, actually, onto these Barbarians. And that freshly deployed Barbarian getting instantly killed by the Dusk Shaman, who is not at all impeded by these barricade relics. So Snapteeth Ancient attacking that barricade, and the Stealth Deadeye, which I missed, finishing it off, freeing the Dusk Shaman. And we actually do see the Ancient contesting mid against that Barbarian Elite. Not phase shifting. I'm pretty sure that's on cooldown. Otherwise, he probably would have used it. Although it's probably not worth using it yet, since Barbarian Elite can only get off 1 hit. Probably want to save it until the Elite can get off 2 hits. And then maybe swap one of your other champions in, like that Deadeye. So what is SonTungvn going to do? He's probably one of the most aggressive players I've ever seen in the game, so should be any games with him are usually fairly interesting and usually fairly quick, unless something unforeseen happens. So we do see Rock Torrent, actually. Not really a spell Iron Fist tends to run. At least my Iron Fist decks never really run it. I usually prefer something like an Earthquake or Open the Earth, Bane Blast. But Rock Torrent, also a decent AoE in these types of situations, creating that unstable ground, which the Ancient now has to walk through if he wants to escape this Elite. Also see an Earthshaker going down, knocking back that Frenzy, as well as the Dusk Shaman, allowing these Barbarians to hit it with impunity. And that's actually a pretty good position for the Earthshaker. Cooldown 2 means that FlyingFinn will have to play around it somewhat if he wants to get these ranged champions into this font fight over here. Bubble of Protection actually going on to the 10 HP Frenzy. A little bit worrying if SonTungvn has a way to counteract that bubble. 10 HP is not very high, although IS doesn't have really any loss of life options. So I'm betting that Frenzy is going to stay safe for quite some time here. And, well, there we go. There's one of those options. Might of Iron Fist actually dealing 10 loss of life to the target. Now, normally Might of Iron Fist, you'd want to cast it on your own champion for the damage buff, but does have the utility in the sense that it can be cast on enemies as well for the loss of life. So it's nice that he had that little counter up his sleeve for these situations, allowing Favored Nomad to win back that font and basically waste the Bubble of Protection Nora. So 40 Nora spell for 40 Nora spell, although FlyingFinn does also lose the champion. And Favored Nomad not quite going to kill the Deadeye here, but perhaps another spell? Well, there was a hidden spell, seen thanks to the favor on Favored Nomad. So hidden spells in IS, we have Refute, we have Righteous Deflection, and I'm betting that it's a Righteous Deflection on this Barbarian Elite. 10 to 1. Give me all the odds. I'm betting it's Righteous Deflection. So we see Font of Restoration, keeping the contest as well as healing up the Ancient. And yep, called it. That was an easy prediction. Righteous Deflection. There's really no other place to put it. Although he does sacrifice to Zedin to do so. Maintaining that mid-font. Probably more worth it. Zedin, he's I like Zedin. I like being able to run him, but unfortunately he's just not very good. Although he is indubitably one sexy man. No homo, of course. But we do see him going down there, unfortunately. And Reverberating Blast, actually, onto the Barbarian Elite. That's interesting. That doesn't actually do anything because of Soul Reaver. So I would say that's a huge misplay there from FlyingFinn. Probably under time pressure, I would think that's the only reason he would cast that rather than, deploy or something. So Soul Reaver actually cleansing that stun. And then SonTungvn immediately deploying a second Barbarian Elite. And that Shaman most definitely going down to the Elite, which will also collect the Nora Globe there. And we see a spell being trying to be cast on the Favored Nomad, but unfortunately the Warchief Stone Clan has transferred over to her, granting her warding, preventing that spell cast. So instead, he casts the Pride of Blood Rage onto the Barbarian Elite, granting it Blood Clan. And actually, Barbarian Elite did not grab that Nora Globe. Huh. Alright. Not like FlyingFinn was in a position to grab it anyway, but I wouldn't leave a Nora Globe just sitting there. He would have had, the AP to hit that font on his next turn regardless, so why not grab the Nora Globe? So Barbarian Elite gaining that mid-font ground, and FlyingFinn pulling back, retreating like a Frenchman in the face of these barbarian aggressors. The Englishmen, as you might say. Snapteeth Chilean taking some damage. And that Favored Nomad has generated quite a bit of Nora, thanks to Essence Capture, Favor, getting spell refunds as well as Nora from attacks. Favored Nomad, pretty good champion in its own right now, after the buffs it received in the Iron Fist patch. Definitely a viable choice in Barbarians, or you could potentially see it in Iron Fist meta. Depending on how safe you want to play, keep its escalation ramping up. So FlyingFinn just going to play the stall game for the moment, letting the Forglar Swamp font heal up his champions. But SonTungvn, I'm guessing he's not going to have any of it. He's not the kind of player who likes to play passive, let's just say that. So, could see a contest sooner rather than later here. But Snapteeth, you really never want to underestimate them. They can pull off a ton of damage, seemingly from nowhere, with their wonderful multi-attack 3 racial, which will more than likely be nerfed in the future, just based on the talk around the Discord. And if any of you are actually not on the Poxnora Discord yet, if you're maybe a new player or an old returning veteran, coming back to the game recently, check out the Poxnora Discord. There's we got a wonderful community. That's basically where all the players hang out these days. Guild chat is pretty much dead. Lobby chat is dead, but the Discord is still a poppin', thriving place. So come on by. We'd love to have you. Love to teach you our tricks. Bring you into our fold, as it were. So, with that plug over, we've got Dusk Shaman moving up for a hit. On to the Favored Nomad. 16 damage, even through Tough 3, thanks to its own escalation. As well as these wonderful DOTs, Soul Tap, Debilitate, Jolt, and so Snapteeth, range champions here actually doing their best Hyanid impression, stacking up the DOTs, and Favored Nomad actually going down to the Chilean. Leaving the Norglobe, of course, but the Barbarian Elite debuffed by Ferocious Bite as well as Kill Sense. Not really going to be a damage threat here. Though I would think that the Snaptooth Frenzy is in kill range simply because of the Bastion coming in, and, well, maybe not anymore. We actually see a counterspell healing. It's not what it's called. Backfire boon. The Backfire boon, now 55 Nora actually, received its own buff. It used to be 60, but at 55, it's definitely a contender now, compared to the normal Backfire. So all of Flying Flynn's champions get a nice little 15 HP heal on top of that that barricade being fizzled. We see Cross Priestess here dropping a spear and then moving away. Bastion the Avenger moving in with a Mark of Redemption being cast onto the Elite for the +2 damage, I'm assuming. But that's still not quite enough to get the kill. Oh yeah, sorry, Bastion now has the multi-3 from Barbaric, or no, what was that? Vindictive, yeah, sorry. So it does have Vindictive upgraded multi-3 since there is a Barbarian on cooldown. So taking out that Snaptooth there, getting another hit onto the Hunter, choosing to forego the Norglobe yet again. And Flying Flynn, sort of on the back foot now, under the pressure of these Barbarians. And see Divert. He's diverting his attention now away from that Elite onto the Priestess, sort of trying to get as much value out of that Dusk Shaman as possible before it gets beaten down. Retreating yet again, the Hunter doesn't really have much of a choice, I would think. Basically needs to keep his champions alive at this point. And this Bastion is going to be one hell of a pain to have to deal with for him. Doesn't really have the damage on board once this Dusk Shaman dies. That's really all he's got. And actually forcing the Transfigure here. So Lemsu of Darkmarsh leaping into play, trying to defend his buddies. But this Dusk Shaman definitely going to go down here to the Rend from the Elite, unless... okay, so he does put the last hit onto it. I was thinking there might be a Cleansing Mist played to heal it up and cleanse that Rend at the start of Flying Flynn's turn. But that play is now off the table, and we see Hammer Strike going down onto the Chilean. So stunning it up, leaving it in prime killing position for Bastion next turn. And I would think that Flying Flynn probably going to surrender soon. Unless he has a way to deal with this Bastion, I don't really see him coming back from this. And that Bastion definitely extremely buffed up now from Stone Clan, Blood Clan, and all of the Vindictive and Battle Leader and everything. Lemsu spitting angrily at that Barbarian Elite, trying to put him in his place, but he ain't having it. He's just gonna get angrier. And these Snaptooth definitely in trouble now. Invigorate going down from a Snapteeth herder, actually. Not really a champion you see too much outside of beasts. But it does have synergy elsewhere. Invigorate 1, I don't know. I probably wouldn't run it. I think there's better choices. Like even in Barbarians, you could go like brew Dwarven Beer Maiden, who has Invig 2 plus Shatter Summons. And most of your Barbarians, I would think they would be brutes, right? Seems like they're warriors. Oh well. So we've got a divert from this newly deployed Chilean. But it won't do very much good. That guard tower coming down, absorbing the divert, and Bastion finishing it off. The Barbarian Elite executing 31 damage hit onto that Snapteeth, and SonTungvn takes the win. So nice little game here, and we'll see you in the next one.